I can't tell because I can't see.
They look cute. They look cute. I feel like we do this every time we film together. You try on my glasses.
Hi.
Today I'm here with special guest Rosianna, also flatmate, in
Also
case you
flatmate.
guys didn't know yet.
Special guest, also flatmate. That's me.
And even though we've been living together for
500 years.
500 years, we haven't filmed a video together in this flat yet. So it's
just
happening right now. Well, usually you would come over from the US and we just film like 6 videos in one go.
Many of which you still haven't seen.
That's true. I edited all of mine, I think. All of mine are out.
My 3-part email video is not done.
Oh, I forgot about that. We filmed a video where we literally just talked about emails for, 60 minutes?
It was a long time.
One of my favourite videos I think we've done together, we've done many, is the first sentence challenge video.
Can I just say one note about that? Is that
Yes.
I watched that back recently and I was reminded how, like, you can know first sentences and last sentences and so on, but the moment you're put under pressure, even the really obvious ones,
Yes.
the really, really obvious ones just go.
And I find it so fun seeing one person holding up the book and reading it and the other person with the blindfold, even if it's their favourite book, they're just sitting there going, don't think I've read that one. Today we're going to be playing a game that is based on a real life game. And this video is also sponsored by Oxford Games because we're going to be playing, I don't know how to pronounce this, Ex Libris?
Ex Libris.
Ex Libris. Is any game a board game, even if there's no board? This is a game of first lines and last words. We're going to be put to the test. I'm kind of scared.
I'm actually very anxious. I feel like a lot of my reputation lies
It's on the
this.
line. It's all classics. Usually you would play this with 4 to 8 people, but today we are 2, so we're going to play a slightly adapted version. I also want to let you know, since Christmas is approaching, I have a 20% discount code for all the games that Oxford Games do. They do a lot of other like word-based games like Flummoxed, which I think is really fun and we should just play later, which is about guessing the meaning of words in different languages, even some made-up languages, so you can get that as well. For now, we're gonna play this.
I like that the box has book lines.
It does. It looks like a book. It's very cute. Sorry.
We're delaying this.
You need pen and paper. There you go.
Oh.
Okay, so the way you usually play this is that you have one person who's the reader. They read out a little summary of a classic. So even if you haven't read it, you kind of know the idea of the book, you know some of the characters, and then you have to pick whether you're gonna do the first sentence or the last sentence. You make it up, you write it down, then they also write the real one down, mix it in, and then you vote on people's answers to see, if you manage to actually make up a sentence that was more convincing than the real one. But the way we're gonna play it is we're gonna read out the summary, then we're both gonna do first sentence or last sentence, and then between ourselves we can decide who did the best job. You can vote in the comments as well, or if you want to play along, you can write your own sentences and post those.
That was my face of fear.
I'm scared. I will let you pick one.
Okay, this is like tarot. I pick this one.
We've got Mill on the Floss. Have you read it?
No.
By George Eliot. I have read it, but a very long time ago at uni. Okay, so quick recap of the book. I might fast forward this a little bit in the video. Despite having very different temperaments, they are extremely close. Oh, there's going to be some spoilers. She lives unhappily until both she and Tom are drowned together in a flood of the Floss River. I actually quite enjoyed that book, I think.
I've always meant to read it. We doing last one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, last one. Just trying to think, like, what's the most likely... You're also writing a lot.
Well, you made me panic.
This is a great game for some competitive friends to play with each other.
I'm not competitive. Can you see the card?
I think a lot of it is about getting like the gist of what they would have ended with.
We'll see.
Okay, you want to read yours?
Sure. The river ran on over rock and stone, never once pausing to consider the depths within, and on turned the mill.
I had something very similar. I had not as well written as you. And the mill just kept on turning as it had for hundreds of years. Okay, the real one is... Oh, the tomb bore the names of Tom and Maggie Tulliver, and below the names it was written, in their death they were not divided.
That's quite hopeful. I didn't feel like we were as hopeful.
We were just like, and they disappeared from the story, and the rest of the world remained as normal.
It says a lot about us, I think.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
I read it at uni, but I don't remember anything about how it starts and ends.
So I read this maybe 2 years ago, and I didn't like it very much.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't
I really
like
liked it.
The mystery of Jekyll and Hyde is gradually revealed to the reader through the separate narratives of Mr. Utterson, the lawyer, Mr. Enfield, Dr. Lanyon, and Poole, Jekyll's butler. It's about Dr. Jekyll who develops a drug, transforms him into Mr. Hyde, who like lives out his wildest fantasies. That's me paraphrasing.
I'm ready. You go first.
Okay, so what I went for is because the narration of books like this is, I found it really interesting that it's told quite removed from the main characters. So what I said was, the first time I saw Dr. Jekyll was on an ordinary Thursday.
Oh, I like that. That's so smart.
But I feel like, I don't know if that's what it actually does, but that's what the book felt like to me. But they were like, I saw someone disappear around the corner. Like, this is when I first met him.
It's got that like Frankenstein tense to it. I didn't do that. I went with, it was a bracing night on the streets of London and Dr. Jekyll was rushing home for a cup of tea.
Oh, a cup of tea with some special potion in it. Okay. Mr. Utterson, the lawyer, was a man of a rugged countenance that was never lightened by a smile. Yeah, I remember that. Cold, scanty, and embarrassed in discourse. Backward in sentiment. Lean, long, dusty, dreary, and yet somehow lovable.
It's a great Tinder bio.
Oh,
Lord of the Flies.
Okay.
Kyria. Following a plane crash, a group of schoolboys find themselves on a desert island. Led by Ralph and Piggy, the boys attempt to form a democratic society, but this attempt soon fails. It is only with the arrival of a shocked rescue officer that the mask of civilization returns.
So I read this in high school when I only knew a little bit of English.
Did you read it in English?
Yes, it was for English class, and I remember going back and like looking up the word bore. I didn't know what bore meant. I remember the vague story.
You remember the confusion.
Yeah. Do you want first or last?
I don't mind. What do you think?
Last?
I feel like I remember the last, but
Okay.
maybe it would be interesting to see whether I actually
Yeah,
remember
let's do last.
This makes me want to reread these books.
I know. It's making me very aware of how much I am a non-fiction writer instead, not a fiction writer.
I can't freaking write Lord of the Flies.
Okay, what did you do?
You've been playing war then, the officer said.
Oh my god. Okay, well mine is. And the boys would soon settle into life back home, never wishing to remember their time on the island.
Can I read it?
Yeah.
He turned away to give them time to pull themselves together and waited, allowing his eyes to rest on the trim cruiser in the distance.
Oh, so, okay. Oh, it's the officer. Okay.
I think he thinks that they must have been playing war, not knowing that someone's
Right, so
died.
it's like
this
ominous.
whole situation has happened.
I think I know what I want to do next. Pride and Prejudice is in here as well. Do you know the first sentence
The
of that?
truth universally acknowledged.
Yes. But then, what's the last one? Okay, I really want to do that one because I'm reading all of Austen still.
Call me Moby Dick.
This would be fun.
Oh, I love that book.
Okay. James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. I also read this recently, but I have zero memory.
Did you see the film?
No.
I love the film.
The book kind of creeped me out, to be honest.
It's so great.
James's parents have been eaten by an escaped rhinoceros, so he has to live with his ghastly aunts, Sponge and Spiker. They make his life a misery. Then one day, something magic happens. A fruit tree in the garden grows one giant peach into which James crawls. He is taken on an amazing journey in the peach with all sorts of oversized insects, and his life is changed forever.
Are we doing the first line or the last line?
First, I'm going like a Harry Potter route.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You ready? Okay. Sponge, they're called Sponge and Spiker, right? Sponge and Spiker were the kinds of relatives you wish could stay distant.
I like that. I can't read my own writing. Mine begins, "Get down here," screeched Aunt Sponge, hitting the broomstick against the ceiling so James's floorboards rumbled.
Nice. Oh. Until he was 4 years old, James Henry Trotter had a happy life.
So depressing. Let's do The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh gosh, okay.
Because I haven't read it.
Okay, I haven't either.
Okay, so I've picked The Spy Who Loved Me because I think that this would be quite a fun one to do the last line of. Written in the first person by Vivienne, a French-Canadian, who after fleeing to England with a broken heart, tells of her brief but thrilling encounter with James Bond, British secret agent number 007.
Alright,
So
I've
last
never
line.
read any Bond.
I listened to the audiobook, David Tennant reads it, that's why.
Oh, that's fun.
Me too.
Alright, first or last?
Last.
You're like, yeah, I'm into that. I'm going with the comedic route because I have no experience with novels like this.
Okay.
Mine is 100% more ridiculous than yours.
Okay, so my last line is, "I only ever saw him once again in the Sunday papers, lurking in the background of a casino with his arm around another blonde.
I went for a reader. I shagged him.
And everything, every smallest detail, would be written on my heart forever."
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
It's very lovely.
That's nice.
It's quite beautiful.
I'd love to end with Pride and Prejudice. Now the question is, what is the last sentence of Pride and Prejudice?
No bloody clue.
The story centers on the Bennets, a family of 5 daughters with a rather vacuous mother. Charles Bingley, Fitzwilliam Darcy, everyone falls in love, they fall out of love, they hate each other, they love each other. He redeems himself. And the novel ends with the two uniting, as does any Austen novel. I almost looked at the back. Okay, last words of... Oh, because Austen's so smart and witty as well, and that's really hard to write. Okay, I wrote, and so together they put Pride and Prejudice aside.
Look at that. She pointed to the title. She included it.
No, it's definitely not it.
Inspired by the American adaptation, is Mr. Bennet roared with laughter and never had cause to worry again.
Darcy, as well as Elizabeth, really loved them, and they were both ever sensible of the warmest gratitude towards the persons who, by bringing her into Derbyshire, had been the means of uniting them. Wait, so that's about Bingley, right? Is that what they mean? Definitely not the last verse that I thought it would be. Have you seen the extra scene on the DVD where it's basically them sitting in front of his massive house at night, and he's like kissing her hand and saying like Mrs. Darcy or something like that.
Are you sure this is an extra scene on the DVD, or is this an extra
just
scene
my dream
on the internet?
They changed the ending of the film in America and added that on because the open ending that you mentioned didn't like fit.
So they actually screened that ending in America?
Yeah. How do you think we did? I think we did good.
We did alright. I would have liked to have done better.
It's funny because I feel like sometimes you have a really good idea about like what an iconic last sentence is of a certain story, and it's not that. So if you found this fun and you want to play it yourself, you can get Ex Libris. Links will be in the description. Please let us know how you think we did in the comments. And then yeah, hopefully later we'll be playing this for awful intrepid interpreters. Flummoxed. I need to actually show you one of the languages that was in here because I thought it was really fun. Oh yeah, okay, so this is the first one that I saw when I opened it, which is Anglo-Saxon. That'd be so fun to interpret. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being in my video.
My pleasure.
Can we tell people about what we're going to be filming at some point? Rosianna and I are also planning on filming is it room tour and bookshelf tour in one, or we're going to split them out?
I was going to separate.
We're going to split them out. So you'll be seeing a bit more of our apartment and of our bookshelves, and we're going to link them up. I think that'll be quite fun. Go check out Rosianna's videos, channel, Instagram, etc. We'll see you soon.
Doei!